Hello, hello, hello. Anybody there? We can talk about some dry fasting questions or anything else. Is anybody on? We are live. Let's see what's going on. The process of dry fasting. I've talked about it before. It's all a mind game, as is all detoxification of all sorts and all types. When you allow the body to heal, the only way to go about it is stop eating. So, first things first, cut off all your food supply, cut off all your drinking, and let the body do what it's supposed to do. Hello, Faye. If you guys got any questions, now's the time. Anytime I got some time, I'm going to pop on live. People like to ask questions live, I guess. But, hello guys. So if you have any questions, now's the time. Mango Joe. Mary. What else we got here? Got a few people. Robert. Baya. Or I don't know if I pronounced your name right. Sorry. Kyle. Question. I just filtered for the first time, but the next day, nothing. Any thoughts? Any thoughts? Yeah, you just filtered for the first time. It's not going to open up and just keep and stay open. This is a work in progress. It took me over a year to get my kidneys to open slightly, and they only really opened well when I started dry fasting. So don't be discouraged. Most people on Master Fast are filtering within a few weeks, a month. You got some hard cases are taking longer, like maybe 2 or 3 months, but this has been unheard of in the natural healing field. We've cracked the kidney code wide open with the Master Fast, which includes the dry fasting. There's even people who were doing dry fasting before the Master Fast and weren't able to get the kidneys properly open, but as soon as they went into the Master Fast, they opened up. So it's just a work in progress to clean them out properly and let them heal, and they will open. But remember, they have their own emotion, and you need to take control of them. You need to take care of them. Massage them every day with the burnt stick. You burn it the end of a stick or a wooden spoon, and you use this. So you're physically massaging it, and at the same time you're getting the plasmatic gravitational magnetic field, so it's taking what you don't need and giving you what you need. So we have two things happening with this magic burnt stick, and you can use it on all pressure points. The cerebellum is really blocked in a lot of people themselves. They massage that behind the head. You go as deep as you possibly can, right into it. You do this daily, and you can do all your acupressure points and all that. So you just got to be honest. I don't know anything about you, but you get people that are on the protocol. We're going to bend over backwards for you. People who are not on the protocol, that are doing their own thing, don't waste their time. Go somewhere else, because this is the Master Fast system. It's not a juice fast like some people want to believe. Tony, how did you learn about the plasma effect? Why is it trial and error? Was it trial and error? Oh, trial and error. The plasma effect. Well, I've been studying Kesh spaceship plasma technology for over 3 years now, and it wasn't a trial and error thing. It was an understanding of looking at what I was already doing in the natural healing that I'm involved with for 26 years now, and instead of looking at it in a matter state, I started looking at it in a plasmatic state from what I learned, and everything just opened up to me, and I knew it would work. That's when we would put the lemon with the grape juice, because coincidentally, my first 40-day fast was with Concord grape juice back in 1990, and that's all I used. And I ended up in bed with burnt kidneys for 2 years after that. It was a great experience because I learned a lot. I didn't know anything. I had no support, and I didn't know what was going on. So I know exactly what happened. You know, I burnt my kidneys bad because the toxic load was so great, and the doors were all shut in all my organs. Nothing was coming out. So that's how it basically came to be in a few words. Her art cat, sorry. I have no questions because I know what you said it exactly all I need to know and do know about that. Your words just give me the chills. Jay Dyer, just watching Faye. What can you suggest for somebody? What can I suggest? That's a very vague question, Faye. What can I suggest? Get on the Masterfast. Read all the website, all the file section, watch all the videos. After you've got a concept of an understanding, if you don't have anything that's clear to you, you ask questions. And get all the materials you need, jump on board, and don't look back. This is not for everybody. This is a very, very, very expanded level of healing that everybody's seeing with their own eyes what's happening. We just go down the board and read. It's powerful. So, we got the paralyzed guys walking. We got the worst cases of cancer that are still on it over 6 months, and he's doing well. Marin, I love him to death. He's got the will of a bull, and it's amazing what you can do when you put your emotion and intent. Everything's possible. Gina, dry fast. Before now, I never knew about dry fast. Is dry fast the best way for getting the body to filter? Yep, dry fasting within the master fast opens up kidneys better than any other way out there. There's people doing dry fasts and eating meat, and it's not healthy. There's people who have dry fasted for a year or more and weren't doing great. They weren't getting any results, and they came on master fast. And I'm talking about people that were raw foodists and stuff, and they came on master fast and everything changed. So you can ask around on the board, and you'll find dry fasting is the top of the mountain for healing. Period. That's why it's part of master fast. Now, we can't stay on dry forever. So we have the advantage of being on the juice going back and forth. Juice with the tinctures and herbs, and the psyllium pudding, which we call it now, and then we go dry, and then we go wet, then we go dry. We go wet, dry. I keep saying this. Think about a dirty sponge. We squeeze it, we wet it. We squeeze it, we wet it. We squeeze it, we wet it. All our cells, all our organs, that's what's happening with master fast. Radhika, hi Radhika, Elizabeth, Pablo, Gino, at the point of your process, don't you think you're capable of being pragmatic nourishment? It's in the back of my head as a goal. I'm not putting all my intent and emotion on it right now. Is it possible? No doubt. They call it pranic, I call it plasma. We can live on just pure energy. We don't need matter state. So if that's what your intent and emotion to thrive towards, Master Fast is your most simplest way to lead you to that I know of. I've tried a lot of things. I've experimented, and I don't try things. I experimented with a lot of things, because when I experiment, I go for several months and years. Faye, with just 11% kidney function. Yeah, well, get your 100% kidney function back. Get on Master Fast. What are you waiting for? You people, they keep eating and they're waiting for something to change. Eating is what got you sick. So what do? Take away all your food. It's simple. But our beautiful process, it gives you the juice and the tinctures and the tea and the psyllium, and we have we can turn the kidney tea into a broth and adding vegetables and stuff with the kidney as a base. So we have all the pleasures while we're doing this fast. We're working out, we're doing all sorts of things on this cleanse, on this fast, and we're getting the body to be able to use all its energy that it used for digestion towards healing, because we're not digesting. All these liquids that we're drinking, it's minimal, and there's not much process for them. So how do you heal? You stop eating. There's no other way. That's the most expanded way to heal. And if you want your kidney function back, you really have to practice dry fasting, and that's going to start opening them up. Will you go through pains? More than likely. I went through a lot of kidney pains for many years. The magic stick. Get the magic stick. Start massaging them every day. Get all your materials, get on Master Fast, don't look back. You can heal, 100%, I have no doubt. The only thing you need is commitment, and you're going to do whatever it takes, no matter how long, and just go for it. There's no other option out there. What are you going to go do? Get dialysis and then count your days till death? Just, let's heal ourselves and enjoy life. It's not nice being sick. I've been there. Gene, I have mentioned it to others, and they just do not understand. They think I'm going to dehydrate. Well, let them drink themselves to dehydration, because drinking actually dehydrates you. Water is the worst for the dehydration. It dehydrates you faster than anything I've experimented with. And dry fasting will hydrate you faster than anything. And because we're doing that sponge action, and you got to remember, hydration is not about water. I've seen this over and over. I've written a little article about it. Hydration is about hydrogen. And how do you hydrate yourself? Exactly what I told you. Master Fast will do it for you. And the best hydrating foods are your fruits. All fruits. Doesn't matter if they're water rich. The most hydrating food, in my opinion, is in the desert, called the date. Our Creator would not have put the date in the desert if it was a dehydrating fruit. It doesn't work that way. Use your common sense. You have to understand how nature works under the principles of the universe. It's pure intelligence, and it's all perfection. So, you can believe in the naysayers, or you can look at the basic concepts of how everything works in nature and the universe. And the truth of the matter is that most people do not have a clue how to think, and they do not have a clue how to use common sense. Mango Joe, I'm jumping into a second Master Fast after 2 weeks stop of a previous 30-day Master Fast. Good idea, or is there such thing as too much? No, I went 108 days straight, and so did a few others. And some people, like Carl and his brother, they've gone 180, and we got Mar, and he's over 6 months now. It's all in here. It's all mind game. How far you want to push it. I did when I was in Italy. I jumped on board. I did 1 day with the juice, then I jumped into 12 days of dry fast, and then I finished 42 days of the Master Fast, including the dry, but it was 26 days of dry in that 42 days. And then I came back a month later, and I did another 36-day master fast, and I don't remember how many dries, but it was a lot. So I lose count. It was like close to 20 days. So is it too much? If your belief system believes it's too much, it's too much. What's the limit? The sky's the limit. It's all your belief system, how far you can push it. Be prudent. Push yourself beyond your comfort zones safely. You know what I mean? You always have to feel a little bit of uncomfortable feelings, heart palpitations, headaches, whatever, dryness in the mouth, things that you're not used to. But once you fast more and more and more and more and more, you understand what these are. They are how nature's operating table allows your body to heal. And when things are going on is when the deepest healing is happening. The key is that we need things to keep moving. So when you have a pain that never changes, that's because it's stagnant, and you can't heal with stagnation. So you need things moving. When you have pains moving around, that's great news. When you have things changing, it's great news. Robert, I pre-mixed all 9 tinctures, 2.5 ml, into vials, so I wouldn't have to meter out 2.5 ml each every time. NT, no problem mixing all of these. I made 30 vials. No problem. You just multiply 9 by, make your 9 doses. 9 times 2.5 ml. That would be your 1 dose for all 9 tinctures. No problem at all. That's a few people are doing that, and if it makes it simpler for you, it's fine. Dancia, hi Gino. John Ryan, hi Gino. Thanks for your support. I appreciate all the support and learning daily, learning what to do and what not to do. Thanks for what you do. You're welcome. This is what we're here for. There's not many people doing this with their own time, with very little support. This page is not supported very well. I'm doing it on my own time, as far as I can get it out there. We need to spread this info because the only way we're going to change the planet is being the change. And if not me, who? If not now, when? So if you guys can answer those questions, that'll be great. What about when you're already seduced for dialysis? Seduced for dialysis. Okay, so who gave you that determination? Doctor with a white jacket? You can believe him, or you can believe in the perfection of how the universe and nature works and heal your kidneys. I don't believe in either bull crap. You know, in 1990, when I was in bed for those 2 years, I was going all over the place in different alternative healers trying to help me. Couldn't get any answers from anybody. The doctors, all they wanted to do was cut me open. And I was in the hospital one time when I collapsed. I was downtown on a motorcycle going to acupuncturist. I couldn't drive the car, couldn't sit down, but I can get on my bike and ride the bike. So I went on my motorcycle. I went through the treatment of the acupuncture, and I finished the treatment. I was in a nice, relaxed state. Still a lot of pain. I got out, and as soon as I picked up my motorcycle off the kickstand, I collapsed. I went into severe pain. I can't even explain the level of pain, how high it was. I'm there screaming in the middle of the parking lot, and then people all coming out. Anyway, they ended up taking me to a hospital, which I was kind of refusing, but I was in so much pain. I just wanted to get rid of the pain. By the time I got there, the pain subsided slightly, but I was still in severe pain. And the doctors are all going over and doing all this crap and everything, and they're starting to talk about operation. As soon as I heard that word, I said, I got to call my wife. I got to go home. And they're looking at me like I came from another planet. And I go, no, I'm serious. I'm going home. And so I called my wife at the time, and I went home. I crawled home. That was my 2-year battle with the severe kidney problems. And that night, I didn't know what was happening, but my urine was black that night. They released so much garbage from that acupuncture treatment that I had done. But not understanding how the body functioned, and no support with anybody or anything, or I went through it a very, very difficult 2 years trying to figure out what to do. It took me a long, long time. I still don't have all the answers, but I'm able to help a lot of people from all my experiences and all the teachers I've self-taught myself from. Tony, have you considered writing a book? Never. To efficiently filter your kidneys, would definitely buy the book. Nope, everything's going to be open source, kind of online PDFs, videos, because the universe is always in motion. Stagnation is disease. Writing something on paper, it's dead. It's finished. It's outdated as soon as you finish writing it. So why would I want to do that? It's not me. If you've been following the Master Fast since we put it out, when was it? Before just about a year that we put it online. The website a little longer. If you were following it through, you'll see we made a lot of upgrades and changes from what we've learned from each other. So we can't write a book. It's ridiculous for me. Going, Gino, I'm not a book person. I can't write. I failed English in grade 11, so, that's not my style. Keep going, Gino. That's Donnie. Hi, Donnie. Gina, I think I had mentioned this before, but I had made up a cleanse similar tincture, tea, broth, lemon, but I feel like I was meant to gravitate toward this because, let me expand this, because this is the next level. So grateful. Yeah, I think I remember you mentioning something, Gina. It's amazing. It's not rocket science. Using your common sense, everything's possible. Like I said, I just looked at it from a whole different level. I ignored matter state, and this is why the Master Fast is the way it is. We're working with plasma now. Forget about matter. Doesn't matter. Matter doesn't matter. I'm trying to convey this to people that, especially raw foodists have a hard time understanding that because they're stuck in the nature, so-called laws, natural laws, which, the nature works under the principles of the universe. But if you're just stuck in nature, that's all you are. But we are divine beings of infinite possibilities. We are much more than just what we are here. And if you want to look at if you want to expand yourself, you have to go to the universe, where everything is possible and the expansion is unlimited. So I'm not saying the rules of nature are bad or anything. I'm just saying that if you're stuck in it, thinking that you have to eat fruit and you have to do this and you have to do that, then that's all you're going to get. But if you want to tap into plasma, with plasma, you don't need any fruit, you don't need any water, you don't need any air. That's where I'm going. Eventually, that's my goal. So, the possibilities in plasma technology, they're expanding every week. It's so hard to keep up. I've just scratched the little surface of my understanding. There's just so much. Every week, it's what we've learned is outdated. But you can basically say we just keep adding to the knowledge. Should dialysis be canceled? Edema had set in water, lungs have difficulty breathing. Doctors say it's an emergency protocol. Well, what I could recommend, Faye, is get on board as quick as you can. If you need to get a dialysis done, get it done, but do not go there unless you really need it. Because once you start going down that route, it's all downhill. So you need to get these kidneys opened up. And how you can open them up? Get on the Master Fast. Stop eating. I don't know how else to explain this to you. And dry fasting is going to be a key factor for those kidneys to open up. Are you going to be uncomfortable? Yes. You're going to have to push yourself beyond your comfort zones. Now, because you're in such an emergency state, ER, you're going to have to keep them as an option if you need them. And if you ever go there, get the hell out of there as quickly as you can and get back on the system. don't ever get off the system, but even when you're there, stay on the fruit juices and stay on the herbs and whatever, do the dry fasting, whatever you have to do. We had Marin who did a 13-day dry fast in the hospital after like a 20-hour lung surgery, which they butchered and burnt his lung. He had dead tissue in his lungs. So they had to do an emergency surgery because he was getting air bubbles trapped. And he did a 13-day dry fast after the surgery. He had to argue with the doctors. They thought he was crazy, and he was getting all kinds of filtering junk coming out of his urine in the bag because he had a catheter, and they thought he was crazy. But the lab was supporting him, saying, "No, his kidneys are working great." Because the doctors were saying, look, they thought he was dying. But the funny thing is his blood work was getting better, better, and better. He had no inflammation. His scars healed quickly. Bang! In 13 days, they were threatening to sue him. So he checked himself out and went home and continued. And he's going strong. You can read about his story. Hopefully, he's going to be releasing he's writing a book, I believe, on his story. That's something somebody can do. It's from the past. So that's what I suggest. Get on the emergency. They're gonna work you into fear, Faye. I'm gonna use that because they make a lot of money on dialysis. Use them if you really have to. That's all I can suggest. And it's a scary thing. You can't breathe. Lungs and water in the lungs. You're gonna have to use all the tools, all the tips that we have. Massage those kidneys every day. Get that crap broken up in them. They're just plugged up. They're plugged. That's why they're not filtering. It's from your lifestyle and your emotions mainly. So it's all got to come out. Thomas, what would you say in the trade-off in taking the tinctures during dry fasting, vis just staying dry and waiting for the break of the fast before retaking? Like I said, I've played with both a lot. If you go all dry, it's very potent. If you use half dose of the tinctures, it's very potent. You're not, can I use the word hydrating yourself on half a dose of tinctures 3 times a day? But you're getting the help of our highly elevated friends, the herbs, to assist you in that dry fast. And I've actually found I was able to dig deeper with the tinctures myself. I still do both. Like right now, I'm on a day. I'm in. I don't know how many hours I'm at. What am I at? 12. 2 days, just over 2 days, whatever, about 60 hours. And the first day I didn't do anything. Yesterday I did a little bit of tincture, and today I did another little bit. I know, but I just go day by day. I go by feel. Some days just don't do anything. Go by feel. See how your body responds when you're taking them versus not taking them on a dry. They're really nice to. I like keeping it in my mouth and just switch it in, because when your mouth goes really dry, for some reason the tinctures, it's a really beautiful feeling for me. I love the taste of all the herbs. The more bitter, the better. A lot of people don't like the flavors. Learn to love your best friends, the herbs. That's all I can say. They are magic healers to help you there, and there's nothing more I can say. Schedule for dialysis. Hey, Missy, Fez, Maria, Christine, Allison. Hey, Allison. Alma, Dana. Hey, Dana. Donnie. Can you explain plasma the best you can, please? I have seen you say it a bunch of times, but I do not know the meaning. 99.9% of all the universe, all of it, is made up of plasma. Plasma, it's the fourth state of matter, and it's where everything comes from. Our soul is pure plasma essence, and it's basically a form of energy. Think about each one of us has a field strength, because everything has a different field strength. For example, each plant has its own field strength. A dog, cat, bear, whatever. Everything has its own field strength. It's basically a fingerprint, a unique fingerprint for that creation to happen. And in this field strength, there's a gravitational, which is a pulling, a taking energy, and there's a magnetical, which is a giving. And in this flow, if you think about a donut magnet, it's got an energy flow. It's basically how the plasma works. If you can see the fields of a magnet, it's the same as how plasma works. So these energies, you have an entry point and you have an exit point of energy flowing. And within these fields, there's a gravitational magnetic field strength. And think about it as a ball. Actually, look at it as a durian. And it's always changing its shape. And all the points is where all the fields are coming out, flowing in and out. That's a ball of plasma. If we would turn ourselves transparent, you would be able to see this energy flowing. So each one of these plasmas, myself and all of you, we're all interacting with each other. It doesn't matter that you're not here. We're all interacting with each other. We're all interacting with the plant's plasma fields. We're all interacting with the planets, with the stars, with everything, with even the rocks have plasma fields. Everything has a field strength. So, the more towards the center you go, the stronger the field strength. So if you have, for example, helium would be more towards the outside of a plasma field, its field strength. You go towards the center, you start going into the gold, platinum, and then you get into the heavier elements, lead and so on and so forth, plutonium, radioactive, whatever. So to create, if we want to create gold, we create a plasmatic field strength of gold, and bang, you start manifesting gold. If you want to create water, you create water. It's difficult to grasp the concept until you've been around these teachings for a while. Like at the beginning, I didn't, what is this thing? But that's the basic concept I'm trying to get, so you can have a picture in your mind of what plasma is. Think about a figure 8 energy field between two plasma fields. So there's a figure 8 interaction between two plasma fields, and because they're of different field strengths, they're always trying to balance each other out. So one is giving what it doesn't need, and it's taking what it needs from the other one. So that's what's constantly happening, because there's no two plasmas that are equal. So we always have that interchanging of always seeking a balance. Now, what we're doing in the matter state, we're trying to harness it, and how we're doing is making GANs to control it. And we're doing it with coils, with copper coils, nano-coating them. We're trying to harness it and control it so we can use it to our advantage for what we want. And we can do anything with it. We can use it for feeding, we can use it for healing, we can use it for motion, for power, for electricity. You can name it, you can do anything with it, for creating elements, for creating whatever you want. Within the universe, they're using plasma to do all kinds of things, create different life forms, etc., etc., etc. We are all creators. We are part of the main source of creation. So there's nothing less that we can do than our Creator itself, because we are part of it, and that energy is within us, and it is us. So we can't get away from this. We are all one. Separation is an illusion. And once we understand that, and we start learning how to give, the more you give, the more you can receive. But I just wrote a little clip the other day that we are born takers in this realm. We've been raping Mother Earth for so long. We come in here, we start breathing, we start suckling on our mother's breast. We're taking. Everything we've raped the earth from. It's constantly bringing everything out of balance. If we were giving instead of taking, we would be able to receive without raping. And this is the key that everybody's missing. Gandhi touched on it, and many others, Christ and so many other spiritual gurus. They were all talking about plasma. Nobody understood it at the time. So that's my bit on plasma, but as I explained in Masterfast, the way I came about it with the Concord grape juice, when you cook things, when you heat things, when you add caustic, when you can do with also with electrically, we are opening up the elements atomically to release their energy. So when we, for example, if we heat up copper at a certain temperature, we'll create a nano coating, we call it. And in that nano coating, we create microscopic little balls of energy. Each one is a plasma in itself, and they're all having a gravitational magnetic field with each other, and they hold their positioning within the surface of this nano of the copper. And this has energy. If you can get a voltmeter and you measure, you get voltage from it, just a piece of wire. So this is what plasma is, and it's a beautiful thing. So there's so much stuff you can do with it. So with that, with the cooked juice, which we have a lot of anal raw foodists, which I was one. Raw is law. Over 9 years, almost 10 years, I did not touch anything cooked. That was my law. If it's cooked, it's bullshit. And I was closed-minded about it. You know, even I started getting into cooked food a little bit after I got into the high-fat raw vegan, because my body went so out of balance. I lost all my hair and teeth. I've explained this before. I almost died. My friend did die on this high-fat raw vegan bullcrap diet. And I lost my train of thought. we learned the hard way. So, you know, I was getting back to the juice. So the juice with this plasmatic field, once it's cooked, is way more potent than any raw food out there, especially when we add that lemon. We are getting a huge gradient from the high energy cooked grape, pomegranate, dark cherry juice. We're getting a high field strength. And then we're putting in a low matter field strength from the raw lemon. You know, they're two extremes. When you mix them, as I explained before, you get two fields, figure eight. Bang, you get that interaction happening. And that's why it's liquid Drano to our body. But it's not only liquid Drano, it's not only cleaning. You can live on this juice. As people are noticing, everything starts getting better. Their nails, skin, hair. Because we're using it not as food, like everybody wants to think in a matter state. We're using it as a plasma state, which everybody is having a very difficult time to comprehend. You have to get out of the matter state. You got to take your head out of your asses and leave nature behind for a little bit and go to where nature's been created from, the universe. And once you get that picture, you'll understand Masterfast and why it works and why people are getting results. So we have the juice and the lemon juice. Then we have the tea. Most people don't like the taste of tinctures, so they drink it separate. But the reason I say put it in your tinctures in your tea is to have another plasmatic field strength. Yeah, it could happen in your stomach. Take a shot and drink it down. But I like to do it outside and drink it. So the tea is cooked. We atomically open up the structure to release its energy. Why do you think herbal teas work? You can use the herbs over and over 2-3 times, reheating them with new water, because we're not using a matter state. We're using the energy plasmatically of these highly elevated beings in a cooked herbal tea. And if you can see that understanding, your eyes are going to open up into another realm. So we add tinctures. The tinctures are raw. So we have another gradient. Not as strong as the juice, but it's huge because of the strength and power of the herbs in their elevated state versus the juice. So they help us in a different way. Then we have our charcoal. Another burned product. Cooked to death. That's why I say this is the cooked to death system. Cooked to death. This charcoal, burnt. This gives you another huge plasmatic field strength. I have charcoal on near my computer, near my Wi-Fi. This absorbs all radiation. You don't have to worry about these things when you understand plasma. Forget about matter. It doesn't matter. Forget about organic. It doesn't matter. Once you understand the principles of plasma, all these things we use with GANs, we can neutralize all the effects of radiation. Ebola, whatever it's called. All the, it's already done. So these are simple principles of plasma. So we have the charcoal with the clay. That's another gradient field interaction. We have the psyllium as a physical broom and absorbent from the field interactions between the clay and the charcoal. So as it's going through, it's pulling into the GI tract interstitially throughout all those little villi that are all plugged up. Interstitial. This is where we're plugged up. This is where all that black crap is coming from. It's not coming from the walls. There is some from the walls, but that comes out first. But all throughout the length of the fast, the longer days, it comes out interstitial. Through every single cell has that plaque. And we need to pull that out. And how do we pull that out? With plasmatic field interaction. Not matter. It's not matter. It's a plasmatic field interaction, which the psyllium absorbs. And that's why you're seeing all that crap in the psyllium going through you. If you can understand what I just said, you are ahead of about 99.9% of the population on how to heal a body. Plasma. This is what we're talking about, folks. Leave the matter in the matter state. Let's go beyond, because we are so much more. So we have 3 huge field interactions in Master Fast. And then we have the biggest one, dry fasting. What happens when you dry fast? You activate, your whole body is made out of GANs. That's what you're activating. And you can only activate it at its highest field strength when you stop eating and drinking. And, we're just using the breath. Do your breath work, because that's going to bring it out even more. And movement. You are activating your plasma within. That's why dry fasting is so potent. Now, if you guys understood what I said, I don't care what name of disease you have, give them all back to Big Pharma, medical mafia. Because those names are all bull frickin' crap. We don't own them, they own them. Give them back to them. You can heal anything. Gabriel is walking. He was paralyzed. The biggest help for him was when he did the long dry fast within Master Fast. So that's what I'm going to talk about. That's all I'm going to say about plasma, I think, today. Susan Ridetta, I have to wait till finished video for some reason. It comes over static, weird, electrical sound in my phone live. Some other live, I can't hear you over that. Okay, sorry, Susan. Gina, funny that you said you're going beyond all that fruit breath, air, etc. Your eyes reminded me of Babaji when I first came to this site. He lived 2,000 years ago and never died. He ascended. Exactly. We can learn to go transparent and never die. Even if you have a physical death, you're going in a manner into the other realm that way, but we don't have to have a physical death. That I have no doubt. Missy, goddamn phone won't play video. Grr. Sorry, Missy. It's going to be recorded. Ruby, hi Ruby. John Ryan, I'm struggling at the moment and we are learning about Vitalist Force. Would this be the same as plasma? A Vitalist Force. Yeah, there's many names. Vital Energy, Prana, Qi, there's many, many names. The reason I'm sticking to plasma is because now we have an understanding of what plasma is, gravitational magnetic field strength. Maybe in ancient times they had that understanding. I believe they did. And it got hidden and pushed away when the few that knew suppressed it, all the info, so they can control the rest of humanity and enslave us. And you can see that how we're enslaved. Money is the biggest tool for enslavement. Food, air, water, frequency. These are all the tools of enslavement. Language is another tool of enslavement, believe it or not. And with plasma, you don't need language. Everything is known when you connect to it. You don't need to talk. You don't need any language. Where do we get the burn stick? Just get an old wooden spoon. Get a flame, candle, lighter, burn the end. Done. Or just grab a stick off a branch of a tree or a dead stick. Get something strong. Old wooden spoon works great. Get them at a dollar store. Just burn the end. And then make sure it's nice and round so it doesn't hurt you when you dig in and massage. And always go in a clockwise rotation in all your organs and all your pressure points. Go online, learn all the pressure points and all your weaknesses. So you're doing your kidneys for sure every day twice, your cerebellum every day twice, and then go into all the meridians and pressure points for your kidney and adrenals and anything else you need help with. Kyle, this talk is simply incredible. Well, yes it is. That's why I keep studying it 6 hours every day, 5 days a week. You're welcome. My son's watching. Frank, hi Frank. Priya, hello. Gina, I understood what you said, this area. I hope so, because this is, nobody else is talking about this stuff in natural healing. And just wait, you're going to see more and more of plasma coming into the mainstream slowly but surely. It's going to take some time, but if the disaster of the Earth shift comes as Mr. Kesh is seen in the plasmatic fields, we're going to need it quicker than later. So I would highly advise everybody start to learn how to make GANs. You can survive on GANs. If we can't have any food and water, you can survive with GANs, just the energy of GANs. So you can clean water, you can take poison out of water, you can take radiation out of water, learn how to make GANs. It's simple, a child can do it. There's many videos. I'm not the greatest at instructing it, but it really is simple. You need the three main ones: CH3, copper oxide, and the CO2 and zinc oxide are always collected basically together, depending on how much voltage you use. Okay, Francesca, how did Master Fast heal genetic deficiencies for pathways for actual detoxification? How does Master Fast heal? Master Fast doesn't heal anything, Francesca. Your body heals, is the only thing that can heal. Master Fast allows your body to clean out the matter crap that we don't need, the waste matter, at the matter state, and then it starts triggering your emotional state, which is the seed of all disease. I've explained that many, many times. Everything manifests as a seed in emotion before it manifests in your physicality. So if you can repair the emotion, the physicality has no choice but to repair itself. Instantaneously it could happen. So when we're doing Master Fast, you see everybody going through emotional healing crisis, we call them. And these are a blessing. Cry your eyes out until you have no more tears. I keep saying it over and over, because that's how you're going to heal the physicality. It's not the other way around. We use the physicality to get to the emotion. Everybody's got it backwards. And Master Fast just makes it simple, because we can stay on this system for a long time, months. You can live on it. If you're really set mentally, you can live on this infinite amount of time. There's no limit. It's just a matter of belief system. So that's how you can heal genetic deficiencies, because your genetic deficiencies not only come from your parents, they come from your grandparents, your great-grandparents, your great-great-grandparents. And all those are not only physical genetic deficiencies, we also carry all the emotional baggage from all our ancestors, all the way down the line. So just imagine how much baggage we're carrying. We need to rebalance that all out. And you ain't going to do it with eating fruit. You're going to do it with plasma. That's the only way you're going to do it. Because you have to get to the emotion. Plasma deals with emotion. Deals with the soul level. Meenakshi, sorry if I don't pronounce your name right. Can we take painkillers if detox die-off is too hard to take? I'm going to say one thing. When you're on master fast, and especially dry fast, pain is subdued tremendously. Tremendously. You'll be able to withstand and tolerate much more pain. If you are in a point that you can tolerate it, you're going to have to make the decision if you want to take those. If you do take them, you're going to just have to detox that garbage out of your system later. So the choice will be yours. Breath work, cold, ice, cold showers, cold baths, movement, and dry fasting within the master fast is going to help you. How to use GANs. Infinite amount of ways to use GANs. It's limited to your imagination. You can make pain pads. This is a Ziploc bag. 2 sheets of paper towel. We get our, for example, CO2 GANs, zinc oxide. We energize water with it, meaning it's inside of a jar. It settles to the bottom, and all the top is all water. You use that water. You wet the paper towel. Wet it. You don't have to soak it. It's just wet. Remove all the excess water and air out of the Ziploc bag. Seal it. Tape it all up so it doesn't leak. And you use that as a pain pad. Or you can sleep with it. You know, you can do many things with it. You can make pain pads for feeding. You can make GANs of different foods and put one on your stomach and get the field interaction to feed you. You can use it in a pain pen. You guys don't know what a pain pen is. Basically, we call it a pain pen. It looks like a pen. Could be this size or bigger. We can put nano-coated copper within it, and you can fill up the GANs within there, so you can use it as a pain pen and use the field interaction for helping on pain. You can breathe the fields of the liquid plasma. So I have the water that's energized from the GANs within this water pipe, you know, for smoking dope. And you're breathing air through the water. So you're only taking in air, but the air has to go through the water to get into your lungs. The lungs are the gateway to emotion. So when people have problems emotionally, they can't breathe. So how do you how do you get to the emotion in physicality? Through the lungs. This is very powerful. So as we're breathing it in, the plasma is taking what you don't need and giving you what you need. Very, very powerful. Autistic children, this is what we need to be doing with them. Getting them on all these things. You can put the liquid plasma in a water bottle, in a spray bottle. Spray on yourself. One guy was spraying his hair. He went from white to black. Another guy breathing in the field, starting to grow back his enamel on his teeth in his 70s. It works at the soul level, so it works differently for everybody because it's working with emotion. How many you can feed it to your plants? Animals, they love it. You put two bowls, one with liquid plasma water, and put one without. They go right for it. I had it in Italy, and the cats, they had tons of water all over the property. I had it in a pail with a little bit of water, a deep pail. They went on top of the pail, went down in to drink the plasma water. Animals love it. So those are a few things off the top of my head, but actually it's infinite. There's limited to our imagination. You can make a health cup and drink from the health cup. You have a double wall health cup. You can fill it with different ganses, and then it's sealed. And then when you put water in it, it's energizing the water, so you can drink that. There's many ways, folks, of using plasma. Let me see here. What are your thoughts on borax, if you've ever looked into it? I haven't looked into borax, actually. That's one of the few things that I haven't. Not sure what it's about. I've heard people talk about it, but I've never looked into it. Isolated chemistry. We use baking soda very little in the dry fast, help cool the kidneys. I like ozone. Ozone is I love the isolated chemistry of the ozone, O3. Many ways we can use ozone. We're looking at doing some hydrogen, making some Brown's gas now. Let's see, I'll let you know if we come about that. It's another thing that I like, because hydration is not about water, it's about hydrogen. And Brown's gas is producing hydrogen. Vanessa, could it get rid of blood antibodies? I am anti-Kelly and I am D. I don't care what the name they gave you, Vanessa. Doesn't matter. Your body can heal anything. If you're willing to commit, do whatever it takes, no matter what, no matter how long it takes. If you're committed and embrace everything that comes, you can heal. That's all I can say. I don't care what it is. The saying is, there's no incurable disease. There's only incurable people. Emotion. Why can't I hear anything? I'm not sure. Maybe you have to turn on your speaker or microphone or whatever. Other people are hearing me. I guess they're asking questions. Can your volume button on the cursor? Is there a volume on here? Can you guys hear me? Let me see here. I don't know if there's a way to control a microphone on here. Can everybody hear me? Your cursor. Let me see here. I don't know what's going on, why you can't hear me. Strange. Settings. I don't know. Can everybody hear me? Can anybody hear me now? Okay. Let me get back to my questions here. Borax, watching antibodies. Do you teach classes to make GANs and a lot of other things you use, like ozone machine? I feel if I tried it on my own, I might do it wrong. I have limited time to do videos. I do a few videos here and there when I can. I have some videos posted. There are lots of videos online. You have to have a basic understanding of what GANs is and nanomaterials and all this stuff. Making GANs is one of the simplest things in nano coating. They're very easy. So there's videos on there. You got to do some searches. My time is limited. I spend a lot of time helping people, and I have 6 hours of class a day. You know, I'm up 3, 4 in the morning, and spending a lot of time on these Facebook page plus individual clients. How much GANs do you add to water or anything? To energize water, you don't need a large amount of GANs, because each drop has millions of nanoparticles and potentials of a sun. Each one is a potential of energy of a sun. So you only need a teaspoon, 2 teaspoons, and you'll put in a liter of water, and it'll energize all that water. You don't need much. But it's good to have a big collection so it does it quicker. Stronger strength. So, when you're producing this stuff, you just keep producing it. Just keep making it. Keep, sharing it. We have, thousands of people on this page. If 100 people, 200 people started making GANs, you can share it with everybody, but, let's make it at least 50% of the people. Nita, hi Nita. Not you, Gino. He needs to check his. Francesca, I can hear you. Okay. Tap on the screen. Yes. Hearing you loud and clear. Okay, there's people listening, hearing me, so there's not on my end. It's got to be your individual mics there. If people are hearing me now, there's other people. You got to have probably poor internet if you can't hear me. Make sure your volume is turned on. Yes. I can hear you, but I don't hear what the heck what the man sprayed on his head to grow back. Oh, what he sprayed on his head was CO2 zinc oxide energized water. Just water. Energized by plasma of the GANs. Just sprayed it on his head. He sprayed it every day. Any other questions? I think I covered everything here. If we have no more questions, we can call it a day. Sorry, I'm using this for my phone. It would be nicer if I can use my computer. I haven't figured it out yet, but it's just I try and spend some time doing it, and I get swamped with other people, take care of other people. So I just haven't, I'm not a computer guy. Max put up the website. Thank you, Max, for DPro and also the Facebook he started. I'm not a computer guy. Does drinking water hurt during hybrid fast? I don't recommend drinking water. If you want to drink water, go ahead. It only stresses your kidneys and dehydrates you. It's your choice. That's my opinion, and my opinion only. Not everybody agrees with my opinion, but a lot of people following the program as instructed, and they're getting results. If you want to take it outside of that, go experiment. 0% of people got kidney filtration through water fasting. Let's put it that way. Number 1 was dry fasting. Number 2 or 3, one was castor oil and herbs. One I can't remember which one was which. And eating fruit. So kidney filtration is a big part of healing, and it's not the only thing. It's a big part of it. We have to, tackle the emotion. I will post this on YouTube, not on YouTube, on Facebook. Can you repeat what, Mary? I can't repeat everything I've said. You can listen to the recording after if you can't hear. Sorry, folks. People are listening to me and hearing me. That means it's not my end. Gina, you're the man. Thank you for taking time to share. Only water and GANs for hair. That's what he used. There's actually a couple of people. It's done that. I don't really worry about my whatever. I don't care. When it happens, it happens. If it happens, it happens. I'm not putting my intent and emotion. For these people, it happened. Can you speak more about emotional causes of disease? Are you very aware of the who, what, where of it? As you deal with it? Well, I've talked quite a bit about how we're carrying through from our ancestors as well, not our own personal, but from our ancestors. It's all part of it. We're all connected. We're all one. And when you're having an issue with somebody else, a stranger, friend, loved one, you have to look in the mirror because you're part of them. And the reason you're having an issue with it is because you're the problem. So any problem I have with anybody, it's always my problem. It's my fault. So I have to understand what's going on there. How's the plasmatic field interaction happening where I'm not giving enough? So that's the way I look at it. And anytime you have any thought any intent, any thought with a teardrop. That's a huge emotion attached to it. That's how you create life forms. If you look around, I think I've explained this before. Look around, anything. Just look at anything. First thing you look at. You know, I'm looking at this timer. That was a thought before it became matter. Mouse. That was a thought. This bottle was a thought. You and I, we were thoughts. Every single thing was a thought with an emotion attached to it before it could have been created, whether it's a life form or not. That's how creation works. That's so. Disease, the seed to start it, starts in your emotion. Emotion is within the mind, not within the physicality. But it's in the mind. The mind is not physical. How do I get GANs? You learn how to make it, Cynthia. Or you find somebody who has more than they can use to share it with you. Rachel, gratitude for your vital force invested. Thank you. You're welcome. Minaski, I am planning to do it for 15-year-olds who drinks a lot of water. Bad news. If somebody's drinking a lot of water, it means they're on fire. They're in a very highly acidic, dehydrated state. And the more they drink, the more problems they're going to have. So how do you reverse it? Get them on Master Fast. Put them on the grape juice. And maybe even start them on the hybrid first with 1 meal a day. Do the exact same thing, but with 1 meal of fruit. And that's how you turn it around slowly. No more water. Or you keep giving them water. I can't tell you what to do. Choice is yours. One way to heal. Get on Master Fast. Anna Marie, I find it hard to stop drinking black tea. It's a habit and addiction. Don't give it up. Forget about health. Or get on Master Fast and get rid of your addictions. People stop smoking. I never tell people to stop smoking. Get on Master Fast. They come to a point where they can't smoke anymore. And if you can get on Master Fast and use all the suggested protocols with all the herbs, tea, juice, psyllium pudding, and get onto it, make a commitment, you're going to give up that black tea habit addiction. If you want, if that's your true desire. Intent and emotion is trumps all. Alex, if paying for coaching, what do your services cover? It's $9,000 an hour, first of all. Minimum $9,000, 1 hour is minimum. And what do they cover? Exactly what I'm doing for free online. On a one-to-one basis. And Marie, I'd support as many people as I can on Facebook so I can help more people. One-on-ones, I do them. Some people need them. And it's mostly through emails, and if we need to do some Skyping, we do some Skyping. How can I stop drinking tea? Didn't you just ask that? Was that you, Anne-Marie? I just went over that. The hair thing. Yeah, the hair thing. Just the hair thing. We say the hair thing. You mean growing back the color of the hair? He used energized water from CO2 zinc oxide GANs. Sprayed it on his hair with a spray bottle every day. That's all. Eye drops. People are getting better vision with the eye drops as well. Just water. Energized water. I'll post a picture of somebody from the class today. Somebody put up of I'm not sure what kind of photography he used, of energized water with GANs. Thoughts on cooked food? Cooked food settles emotion. That's why people can't do 100% raw, because they can't settle their emotion on raw. They're not ready for it. So cooked food becomes in a GAN state, and that's why it's such great flavors for most people. and especially the ones we grew up on in our mother's home, those are the most addictive because they're ingrained in our emotion. Every bite we take has an emotion attached to it. And those ones there that we grew up on have the most strongest field strength of emotion. It's another field strength of plasma. So that's why people, they get on raw foods and they can't handle it because they're missing the emotional comfort. The love is what they're missing that they got from their mother's cooked food, even though it was garbage. You know, it still had the love attached to it, and that love is potent, very, very potent. But the problem today is the foods are so indoctrinated and so far away from their original strains and so full of chemicals and so on and so forth. It's just a mess within our physicality. But when you cook things, you're opening them up atomically, and they're packed. They're high energy packets. That's why they're easier to digest. We call it digestion, but there's no such thing really. It's a field interaction, and we're getting that energy from these foods in an easier form than actually digesting a raw food. But the problem is, in this GAN state, they leave residues more so than in raw state, and those become the obstructions which demise our physicality and give us problems there in obstructions, and that's what causes problems in the physicality. So, you know, we have to be able to settle our emotions, and if we can't do it with raw foods, we're going to go back to cooked foods. So what's the best way of doing this? How do we feed two birds with one bowl instead of killing two birds with one stone? How do we feed two birds with one bowl? We can go on to using cooked broths, like herbal teas, for example. We're not taking in any of the fibers. We strain them out with a filter, with a screen, and we drink them to get that cooked sensation, so we can settle our emotion. That's why I have it on Master Fast, the cooked broth, as with the kidney tea as a base. It's to settle emotions. It has nothing to do with nutrition. Nutrition is bullshit. It's emotions. You can settle your emotions, you're going to stay longer on Master Fast. It's that simple. Teaspoon of honey, teaspoon of maple syrup. Maple syrup's cooked to death. It's another strong plasmatic, energetic field strength of high energy packet foods. You know, once you open these up, it's cooked to death. The more it's cooked, the more energy is in it. This is where some people can't understand it when they're coming from the raw food background like I did myself. But once you understand this, then you understand everything opens up, and we can use the knowledge of plasma on our side to help people settle the emotions. So cooked broths is one way to settle the emotion and not get the obstruction from eating the cooked matter. Because GANs, we don't consume it. We use the energized water out of the GANs. So it's the same principle here. The only thing that I know that's cooked, you can eat, and doesn't cause obstructions, as far as I know, is fruit. Because it's our species specific food. Even cooked, it doesn't cause residues. Isn't that wonderful? That's why we can use the cooked grape juice and add the lemon to open it up and get an energy happening. I hope that answers your question, Tasha. Amber, I love dry fast. They are the best, of course. How do you stop the weight loss? Lost 21 pounds in 7 days last time. Shall I alternate with Master Fast? Master Fast has dry fast within it, and the structure of the Master Fast allows you to go much further. Weight loss, especially on a dry fast, you have to forget about it. It comes back very quickly, because we're squeezing out all the liquid out of our body, and it comes back very quickly. On a master fast, which has dry fast, and you're losing a lot of weight, it's because you need to fast even more. You have such obstructions, and the body's built of these waste matters from these obstructions that it needs to dump. You may have to go to skin and bones. I'm going to repeat this. You may have to go to skeleton. There's few people who have to go that. And if you don't, you're not going to solve your issues. Because that's where, if you're going that way on nature's operating table, which is perfection, you're going to have to go to that. And if you don't, you're just putting off to a later date that it may never come. So get it over with now. Clean out as best you can. I suggest everybody do 108 days first. And then a maintenance every year, at least 2 to 4. Every season change would be great, of 30 to 40 days after you've done 108. If you want to go longer, you want to do 108 every year, go ahead. But once you've done your 108, take a good break. At least 6 months. Some people may need a year. I took how long did I take? When did I finish? About half a year or so off before I did my next one. But you have to be mentally prepared. It's all here. Because in 3 months not eating, you're going to lose some weight. And then to build back on good materials, it's going to take you about that long. Once you've built up and you have your mind set, I always have to prepare mentally. This one took me a while to get started, but I'm in it now, and that's it. And once I'm in it, I forget about everything else. I only focus on my goals. So you have to forget about weight loss. Get on the master fast. We have people that came from fruit eating and other diets, dry fasting, and couldn't get results because their GI tract is full of shit. Sorry. It's just full. It's not only the GI tract, it's every cell, as I've explained. Until we get that cleaned out, we have raw foodists that have been raw for 15, 20 years, still full of shit. So until we get that shit cleaned out of us, which is the only way you're going to do it, is through fasting. And the most efficient fast I've ever done and ever seen and ever tried and experimented with is the master fast by far. And other people will tell you the same thing that have done anything over 30, 40 days on master fast. So we can go for the most expanded system, or we can go play around with other things that aren't effective. Very measly results. Water fasting, very, very stressful. Lose tons of weight. Very few people have energy. To get the most out of it, you need to rest. No kidney filtration. I don't recommend them anymore. I'm done with water fasting. I've done a few, not long ones, but I've never liked them myself. And now I know why. I hope that answers your questions, Amber. Forget about weight loss. Mary, Robert, CO2 zinc oxide eye drops. Yeah, you make your GANs, CO2 zinc oxide, and if you can add just a bit of CH3 for some energy, and a little bit of CuO, copper oxide, in ratios. I think I have the ratio sitting somewhere. I think it's 5:1:1 ratio, CO2 5, and copper and CH3 1:1. And you're using only the water, and you use as eye drops. I have to get around putting mine together and getting into my eyes. The seawater GANs that I taught, first off, it's a balancing GANs, very balancing. The individual GANs are more direct, because the seawater has all the elements, and you can make GANs out of every single element, every single plant on this planet. You can make GANs from anything, crystals, you name it. It's unlimited. So, herbs, whatever. So, there's many things you can do. You can make a herbal tincture, a herbal formula for eyes, for example, and make it into a GANs formula without CO2, and then use the water to put in your eyes, just the energy. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's actually more powerful in a GAN state, sorry. That's why cooked herbal teas are so efficient. This is where nobody understood, why herbs still work when they're cooked. Number one, they're highly elevated souls. Number two, they haven't been hybridized. They contain the original blueprint energy. Their souls are much more elevated than we are. Their energy passes right through us as it's helping us. When we eat animals, we absorb all the energy because their emotion of when they've been killed and all that, we take it all in. This is the difference between a plant and the mammalians. Any experience with acupuncture, Gino? Yeah, I talked about it at the beginning, but it helps move energy blockages. Is it a cure on its own? No, it's treatment-based thinking. I highly recommend you do everything when you're doing Master Fast. If you can afford all these things, go for them. Acupuncture, a little bit of adjustments from chiropractor, massage, deep tissue massage, lymphatic massage, massaging your gums. You can do that yourself or get your partner to do it for you. Deep massage your gums. They're all great. Hot and cold treatments. Use them all. Acupuncture works because the meridians in the body, what do you think these are? These are plasmatic energy fields of energy flow. And when there's a blockage, you put in a needle in there, bang, it opens it up to allow the flow. But we don't even we don't need needles no more. I'm telling you, folks. You burn the end of a stick and you use that on the points. You don't need to spend any money. If you want somebody to do it for you, give them a few bucks and have them massage your acupressure points. Go online, look at a chart for all the meridian points of acupressure points, and do it that way. Look how much money I'm saving people, and saving on their health and so on and so forth. And we're getting just a few blessed souls who have actually contributed to supporting this, what I'm doing. It's give and take. Just remember that, folks. Gino, thank you for all your great works. My wife had been living on fresh, wild herbal teas and been thriving. Do you agree? This teaches us that the information of these foods is highly electrical, and do you think one can live on these high oxygen plants and herbs alone? It's not electrical, it's plasmatic. Electrical is only one side of the equation. Plasma has gravitational magnetic field strength, so it's much more than electrical. The issue with herbs, vegans don't like what I'm going to say. They're highly elevated souls. When you take on a herb, you take for example, if you're using seeds of a herb, or you're stopping that plant for producing seed, you're killing thousands of soul entities. Each seed is a soul, very highly elevated. So when you're using all these herbs, you are karmically in a negative state. Yes, they're here to help us, but they're medicines, and they should only be used as such. And, this is why I tell people, when you're on Master Fast, go all out. Splurge on yourself. Go crazy on herbs. That's where you get the biggest bang for your buck, when you're fasting with herbs. When you're eating, can you use herbs? Yeah, but don't use them every day. Don't get your body used to them. Don't rely on them as food. Use them sporadically when you're eating. When you're fasting, go all out on them. And when you've healed completely, 7 to 9 years, you don't need them anymore. By that time, we're going to be able to live on strictly plasma, I believe. So that's my take on that. Can she live on them? Of course she can live on teas. Of course. Fresh herbal teas are much more powerful than dried herbal teas. I've experimented. No comparison. Tasha, thank you. Okay. After Master Fast, if I go back to regular diet, vegetarian diet, will I gain all the weight back? If you go back to the same diet, you're going to go back to the same state. It'll be pretty quick because you have all the emotion attached to those foods. Unless you've settled your emotions completely, but you got to have some fresh raw fruits and diet, some fruits in your diet. But going back strictly on your old diet, you'll go back. I've experimented. And many others have. They can tell you. I've never liked water fast either. Yep. We're getting the truth coming out slowly but surely, Gina. Amber, thank you. I message you tomorrow about the herbs. Thank you. I do forget about weight loss, but it's hard when you lose so much weight, so much, and people around you are like, I know, geez, he's lost so much weight. Geez, where am I here? I have to expand. Geez, he lost so much weight in 1 week. Take your advice. I'll start me as fast as soon as possible. The only thing I can suggest is wear loose clothes. Don't talk to anybody about it. If they notice, just say, I'm following my doctor's protocol. I feel fantastic, and they'll leave you alone. It sucks that people get onto our cases when we're trying to heal. It's out of total ignorance. Elevate their souls. They do not know what they're doing. That's all we can do. Elevate their souls to peace, balance, and correctness. Plasma love. Is juice supposed to meet our daily caloric needs to prevent our body from going in starvation mode? Calories are bullshit. No such thing. Hello, am I still here? So I lost my connection for a sec. I hope you guys can still hear me. So yeah, calories is bullcrap. Nutrition is bullcrap. People who get on Master Fast, their skin, hair, nails are improving immediately within 30, 60 days. The longer they go, the more improvements they get. So how do you explain calorie intake when we're taking in hardly any calories? It doesn't make any sense, these theories. They're all built on crap. They don't hold any water or any juice. I'm sorry. If it's written on paper, it has a dollar sign backed up behind it and a white jacket. Mainstream science is based on control. That's the word I'm looking for. Control. You can believe them or you can open your mind to the universe. Let's talk about enemas. Andrew, okay, what do you want to talk about? When you're fasting, you need to keep the bowels moving. If they're not moving, we do enemas. We get a column board, which is more comfortable, or enema bucket, or enema bag, whatever. Get the water in you, get the bowels to move. 1, twice a day. I wouldn't do too much more than 2 times a day because it's really literally a pain in the ass. And if you start getting diarrhea, baking soda enema. That's going to really help alleviate the burning because the burning is not nice. So baking soda enema will help with that. Then we can do herbal tea enemas, diluted herbal tea. You can use the used herbs that you use for making your tea. You can use those again and make your enema tea. You can use the grape juice and lemon. That is very powerful for an enema. Try it out. You can dilute it or you can use it straight. Yes, we're using water, or you can use straight juice, whatever. But we're not. What's the other one? People are recommending coffee. Don't ever use coffee. Coffee is a very, very strong stimulant and it's very, very acidic. We're trying to get the acid out, not contribute, stimulating with more acids. The only time we want acid is during a dry fast. It's an acidic experience. It's a heat experience. Heat is acid, and it's the highest level of healing. Acidic is the highest level of healing, believe it or not alkalinity. Everybody's got it backwards. I think I missed that in the point I was talking about dry fasting. Dry fasting is an acidic experience. and the highest expanded, most expanded level of healing. Understand what I just said. But we can't stay in that. And Master Fast shines bright because we go back and forth. Acid, alkaline, hot, cold treatments. Come on, guys. Common sense. It's in front of you. The answers are all in front of our eyes, always in plain sight. So, you know, get a colonic once a week from a professional. You'll get further with that if you can afford it. If not, just use your enemas. What more could we talk about enemas? You can do grasses. Wheatgrass, barley grass, wild grass. Those work great. I did those for years. Very healing, very soothing. If you're burning with acid, they're very cooling. That's why if somebody's very, very acidic, I'll ask them to go on 1 or 2 weeks of green juice before going on to the grape juice. Some people just can't handle the grape juice. It's too strong for them. So we'll cool them off with green juices. Green juices are very alkaline. I hope that helps. My daughter just had a baby tooth taken out. Do you think grape juice would slow down the bleeding? You can try it, but how old is she? What can you use for that? Cayenne would work, but it would burn her. I wouldn't use cayenne on a baby. There's other herbs to stop bleeding, but it's going to stop on its own. Yeah, give her some grape juice, try it out. I wouldn't worry about how much bleeding could it be. Can't be that much. I've had teeth pulled. We all had it. It stops bleeding on its own. Faye, I haven't been drinking water for 2 years now. I have to rethink having gone raw. Yeah, well, we don't need water, Faye. Raw fruits. We don't do raw juices. Green juices, you can do them occasionally, but if you don't clean your GI tract, I've talked about it. Putting raw juices in your gut, not a good thing. You're going to feed parasites. Everything will feed parasites. I don't care what it is, but juices, you're going to feed parasites, and bacteria, and all sorts of things. That's why people have problems getting on these raw juices. You're going to get some results, but some people just can't tolerate them, and they don't get any better. They just plateau. Fruit is karma-free. Yes, I forgot to mention that. Mark, your excellent point. Fruit is karma-free. It's the only food that's karma-free. The tree gives it freely, and the seed carries on. Whether it's a big seed, we toss it out, or it's small seeds that go through us. We don't digest seeds unless you chew them. They will pass right through us, and we don't harm the soul. It's karma-free. In the matter state, fruit is the least karmic, and it's the food for man. Excellent point, Mark. I missed that one. Your point about coffee enema, I just spoke about that. Never. What if you're master fast and then going all raw fruits and you keep off? Yeah, well, you can do whatever you like. Nobody's forcing you to do any more master fast. You'll stay cleaner, but in my world, you need fasting as a maintenance because we live in a toxic world. We're taking in toxins through the air, through our skin, through breathing, through our hair. We're taking it in through other people's emotions. We're taking it in through negative fields of radio waves, of microwaves, etc., etc. These all affect us negatively, and they cause, how do I call it? They cause issues and buildups of certain things, of waste in our body, which we need to get rid of. And that's why I highly recommend fasting be part of your lifestyle. Dry fasting always, never give it up. And master fasting 2 to 4 times a year after a long one. Any advice on pasteurized grapes? Pasteurizing grapes? You mean cooking grapes? Jam? Yeah, sure, you can use it. Jam's great. You can implement some of that when you're breaking your fast. Concord grape jam is wonderful. Not sure. It's very settling. If I may find the proper grape juice where I live. Oh, you mean fasting on grapes? You can just, squeeze your own juice and cook it if you can get the grapes. Cook it, boil it, bring it to a boil, simmer, a very good simmer for 9 minutes at least. Let it cool, add your lemon juice. You can use pomegranate juice. You can use dark black cherry. You can use cranberries, a bit tough. I think it'll work. Blackberries or other dark berries. I'm sure there's a fruit on every continent that we can use that I don't know about all the fruits. Have you got recommendations for breastfeeding mothers? Baby is only 4 months. Anything I can do in the meantime to lead up to fasting? Well, if you are not well, I'd try and wean her off of the breast as soon as possible and get her on fruits. Get her on some herbs, drops by the, all you need to give them is drops. You need to get her on some coconut fat and some hemp seeds and a good green powder. And you blend it all up and you start feeding your baby that with the herbs mixed in a small portion of it. So because you only need drops, it won't be a problem. Start healing your baby now. Your baby will have your genetic weaknesses and your partners and all the ancestors. So if you're not feeling well or whatever and you have issues, the baby's going to have the same issues. You best bet is to start now. 4 months is plenty. Get her on some food, some real food, and watch her grow up beautifully. And then you can get on your master fast. You can start on a hybrid master fast, and as you're weaning her off. Andrew, if we are seeing diarrhea, wet mucus in our enemas, does that mean our intestines are still dry and dirty? What does a clean digestive system look like when using an enema? You can't tell if your digestive system is clean by an enema. You can look at it through your eyes. Your eyes will tell you a lot. Your tongue will be beautifully pink and absolutely no white coating when you wake up in the morning. Nothing in your eyes. And when you look in your iris, as an iridologist would look at, you'll see a beautiful clear eye, no congestion in the color of the eye. It's very rare, but that's what you're looking for. The enemas, even if the water comes out clear, doesn't mean you're not removing anything. You're removing acids and toxins you can't see. You're removing emotions. So enema doesn't, everybody's looking for big chunks of matter. Matter doesn't matter, folks. Enemas are not only for matter. They're for the other things I've just explained. Alex, I need either, what time is it now? It's only 8 o'clock. I need either one of the posts someone mentioned about enemas break the fast. When is a good time to do enema? During the 4-6 hour window of juice, tinctures, etc. When you're doing your enemas, yeah, you're going to do it inside your window of drinking. Because when you're out on the dry window, you don't want to be doing an enema. If you have to extend it an hour for an enema, it's not a big deal. You can do it in the morning, first thing, or you can do it at the end of the day. See what works better for you. Try both. And some days you may need both. But I've never had to do more than one a day myself. Experiment morning or evening, first thing or the last thing, and keep it inside the window of your drinking. Watermelon juice fast. This is the master fast. You can try cooking watermelon juice to see how it works. Let us know. I don't know how much power it has as a master fast type of thing. Raw watermelon juice. I don't recommend raw juice fast. There's other pages that support that, and I've discussed why. Sid, how do you know post master fast? How much grape juice should we drink? Or just hydration with fruits? Go by feel, Sid. A glass a day is enough if you're eating lots of fruit. Some days you won't even want to drink. I just go by feel. When I'm eating, I don't drink it every day. I might have a tea one day. I might have some of the Concord juice one day. Just go by feel. If you feel like more, drink more. It's not a big deal. Stay away from water. Fruit is the best hydrator. Grapes trigger my migraines. How else can I do this? Grapes don't trigger your migraines. Grapes trigger the release of toxins that are in your body and give you the migraines. How are you going to do this cleanse? You're going to put your head down, make a commitment, embrace what comes, and use enemas every time you get migraines. And you're going to have to work through it. You're going to load up on herbs. They're not gonna last long. It's going to come. It's going to be all flushed out of you. It'll happen quick, hopefully within a week or two. But the enemas are going to be a big helping hand for releasing the migraines. Hope that helps. Lemon juice vs lime juice added. You can use either one. Either one. Yeah. I've even used grapefruit with some lemon. I've even added some orange a couple times to change the flavor, but I've always put lemon or lime. Stacy, my mom started the Master Fast 3 days ago and said that she feels like she's going through withdrawal and has the shakes. Is this due to the fact that she is borderline diabetic and also has high blood? High blood pressure, or is she experiencing detox? These are healing reactions. Most people have the biggest challenge the first few days to a week. Some people can go as long as 2 weeks with real severe challenges, and people that are in real severe acidosis, toxic and dehydrated, may go longer. I've given you all these tips. What she needs to do. Enema bag is number one. Anytime you have any ill feeling emotionally, physically, mentally, you reach for that enema bag, and that's going to pull her through. We've had people get off their insulin very quick on Master Fast. So this will be able to help her out. No guzzling the juice when you're having diabetic issues, and nobody should be guzzling the juice. We're sipping. Mouthful, chewing, getting saliva in there, and then swallowing. You don't have to chew, just keep it in your mouth and get the saliva in there. And that's how we're taking the juice in mouthfuls at a time. I can only afford non-organic grape juice. That's all I use, Lisa. I don't look at Matter State. Other people are stuck in Matter, looking at organic, schmanic, and all this stuff. No, I don't do that anymore. I used to. I just buy the Welch's or any other brand that's cheap, and away I go. If you can afford organic, buy organic. Do I agree that food should be grown with chemicals? Absolutely not. It should be made illegal. Should be not allowed to grow any of our foods with any chemical matter. But we're not going to focus on that. We're focusing on plasma, higher field strengths. Plasma field strengths pass through matter states. And if you've listened to what I've talked about GANs, you can use your GANs to energize that juice and neutralize all the toxicity that you believe is in there. Because it gets rid of radiation. What's worse than radiation? Nothing else that I know. And we're at 8 o'clock. I think I answered quite a few questions. I think that's enough for tonight. Thank you all for joining, and till the next time. Anytime I get a chance, I'll try and do these. I got good feedback from people, so they like them live, and away we go. Half dose of tinctures okay to extend them? Yeah, you can just stay on half tinctures is enough. Some people need more, whatever. Play with it. Some people, one dose, full dose is too strong. You got to remember, if you're getting the tinctures from us, they're double strength than most others. So half a dose is plenty for some people. All right, guys. Peace, plasma love. Let's keep expanding this. You ain't seen nothing yet. That's all I'm going to say. Good night.